On a scale from 1 to 5, 6.
What's up? What it is, what it do. Make sure y'all can hear me live, hear me clearly. Dog, it is your boy Alan saying the place to be. Happy Purple Friday to you. After 4 straight wins, yes, it's officially Purple Friday. But I do want to thank you guys. You see on the ticker, subscribe to the Substack, alubuggin.substack.com. Follow the YouTube channel. At alubuggin. I'm sorry, Al_U_buggin. Instagram. Follow me on these outlets. Shout out to my Sideline Talk family. That's just what we do each and every Friday. I am here. I will be giving props and love and shouts to my Sideline Talk family. I'm going to start off with Coach Herb, who was playing a playoff game. So go Dunbar. Start with him. I hope the kids win. I hope they stay safe. Most importantly, I hope they learn in this game and all that is to know from it. And with Coach Herb, y'all in good hands. So shout out to Coach Herb, Coach Tay, John. What up? What it do? How y'all feeling? All right, y'all. We had football last night, and it was a great game. Houston Texans beat the Bills 23-19. Josh Allen threw interception in the last few seconds of the game. But the story of the game was the Houston Texans defense. They were able to get to Josh and bring him down 8 times. Yeah, 8 sacks. A whole lot more pressures and him running out of the pocket and him scrambling and running for his life. All in all, Josh Allen did play well, he didn't score, but he was moving the ball to do enough to keep Houston in it. Keep Buffalo in it. James Cook is a monster. I believe he's in top 5, definitely top 10 in rushing yards this year. So shout out to James Cook. But that Houston defense, man, they did everything they needed to do. They were as good as advertised, and was as good as advertised as far as scoring defense. They didn't allow Josh Allen into the end zone, like I said, all night. And if you keep an MVP from scoring, yeah, your defense is like that. Josh Allen was 24 of 34 passes, 253 yards, 8 sacks, like I said, and 2 picks. Davis Mills on the other side had 16 to 30, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Davis Mills, man. It's 3rd straight win for them. He took over. They were 3-5. Now they're 6-5. They're above 500. So shout out to them. But yeah, James Cook had 116 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground, obviously. Running the ball. So shout out to James Cook. James Cook, like I said, this is the number 1 rushing defense, and James Cook was able to shine. So shout out to him. But Houston, man, they streaking. I don't know. They only 1 game behind the Jacksonville. No, yeah, they 1 game behind the Jacksonville Jaguars for 2nd place, and they're 2 games behind the Colts, who were on a bye last week for tops of the AFC South. So I don't know if they'll catch the Colts. Colts got a big game this week against the Chiefs that I'll talk about in a second. But the Texans, like I said, they won 3 in a row. That defense is as good as advertised. And Davis Mills, being a veteran coming in for CJ Stroud and his injury, won 3 straight. They are, trying to see if they're in the playoffs as it currently sits. No, they're still 1 game behind. They're still 1 game behind the Chargers and the Bills for that last wildcard spot. All right. Tomorrow, kind of a slow day in college football land. There's only two top 25 teams that are matching up against each other. And that is the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners are playing the number 22 Missouri Tigers, and number 7 Oregon is playing against number 15 USC. So Oregon USC is a USC trying to get into the 12 spots available for the college football playoffs, but Oregon and their Heisman Trophy contending quarterback trying not to let that happen. That game starts at 3:30 Eastern time. I will be watching that one. Oklahoma, Missouri starts at 12. Probably will skip out on that. Not even gonna lie to you. But right now, in the current 12 playoff positions for college, you have Ohio State at number 1 undefeated. Number 2, Indiana is undefeated at 11-0. Texas A&M stays undefeated after that tough game against South Carolina last week. Georgia is 9-1. Texas Tech is 10-1. Ole Miss is 10-1. Oregon, as we just mentioned, is 9-1. Oklahoma 8-2. Notre Dame 8-2. Alabama's 8-2. Brigham Young is 9-1. And at the last playoff spot currently is Utah 8-2. So, like I said, Southern Carolina, USC is 8-2, and it will go a long way for them to get into the playoffs if they can somehow pull this upset over Oregon, which I do not have happening. But as college football, any given week, that's going to be one to look at for tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna try to keep my calm on this topic here. Shedeur Sanders is getting his first start in the NFL for one of the worst teams in the NFL, one of the worst franchises in the NFL. So I am excited to see him play. But there was so much pressure, so much hype, so much fanfare, if you will, about this game. For Shedeur to be a 5th-round pick, to get a start, I don't know if I'm fair in my assumption of saying that Kevin Stefanski probably would have preferred to not have to play Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if that's a fair statement. But he is finally getting first team reps in practice this week because they know he's starting. And I say that to say, as your backup, you're one play away. If you play football, you know anything about football as far as the ins and outs of rosters, your backup quarterback is one play away from playing at any time. So when they had Joe Flacco there, Dillon Gabriel was taking second team reps. I wouldn't expect Shedeur Sanders to get any type of first team reps as a third string quarterback. I wouldn't expect it. So that right there, cool. But they traded Joe Flacco away week 5, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, they traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals in October. It's damn near the end of November. And that whole month's time, one quarterback and one quarterback only was taking reps. I don't think you had plans to play Shedeur at any point in time, and you were hoping that you didn't have to. Because just like when Dillon Gabriel was the backup, you knew he was a rookie. You knew he had to get ready in case old man Joe Flacco didn't last the full season. So I don't understand why you have a guy that you don't view as good as Dylan Gabriel, not taking backup reps in case he had to go. So I believe this game, fairly and unfairly, is going to be, maybe I shouldn't say the word fairly because that might be triggering. Not everything is fair. Nothing in life is going to be fair. Not everything in life is going to be fair. So maybe fair is not the right word. But I think it'll be foolhardy to put a lot of stock into this game, good or bad. And I hope Shedeur Sanders goes out there, plays amazing balls out, goes crazy. I don't know if that's going to change any type of perception for anyone who wants to see this kid fail. I don't know if that's going to change any perception for Kevin Stefanski, who hopes to keep his job next year in Cleveland. But just in case it does, I hope Shedeur Sanders goes out there and ball. And again, if he does ball, that does not mean that we were right in saying that he should have been the starter over Dylan Gabriel. If he doesn't, it doesn't mean that this kid is a bust and shouldn't be in the NFL. It means that he's a rookie on his first start. That's all that means. And we didn't throw J.J. McCarthy away for his game-losing interception the first week against Chicago. Or actually, he won that game, but we didn't throw him away for any of these game-losing interceptions that he's thrown because they understand he's a young quarterback and he's going to make mistakes. I don't know if Shedeur is allowed that. I don't even know if it's foolhardy to think that he won't make mistakes. It's a fifth-round quarterback coming into a game that I think has a lot of promise, needs to be polished, and not to be a conspiracy theorist or a compassion theorist or anything like that. By the actions and the words of his own head coach, I don't think they had any plans of him starting this year. And I could be dead ass wrong on that, but I feel like I'm right. All right. Also, let's talk about two teams that are fighting for AFC contention instead of 2-8 teams. This week, Chiefs got to win. Chiefs got to have it. It's a got to have a game for the Chiefs. Last week was. This one is definitely a got to have it. They are sitting at 5-5 and fading away in their division and in the conference. If Houston picked up a win last night to go 6-5 and be ahead of them, Baltimore is also tied with them at 5-5. If the Ravens can pick up a win against the Jets on Sunday, that's 2 6-5 teams. Even though you have the tiebreaker over the Ravens, you beat them earlier this year. If they got 6-5, it's not a tie. So you definitely need this, especially if you're at 5-6. Definitely need this game. Also, on transversely, to use a SAT word, transversely, the Indianapolis Colts need this game. The Colts are trying to keep pace with Denver Broncos for the AFC's number 1 seed, trying to keep pace with New England Patriots for the number 1 seed. I don't know why this first like 2005, but welcome. The Colts is back in contention, but is Danny Dimes, to use a term, is he going to pumpkin wise? Is he going to have to turn back into a pumpkin at any point? Is he Danny Dimes about to turn back to Danny Dimes of New York? He's had a lot of turnovers in the last 2 weeks. They've been 1-1 in the last 2 weeks, mainly because of Jonathan Taylor and his offensive line. Can this offensive line get Jonathan Taylor some space? And what also will help get Jonathan Taylor some space is Danny Dimes spreading his defense out and being efficient. So this game right here between the Colts and the Chiefs, if I had to pick a team, I'm going to go with the Colts for the upset. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5, I believe it was. I just don't know if the Chiefs have enough to contend with the highest scoring offense in the land, which is the Indianapolis Colts. They have enough defense to stop the high-scoring offense on the line with the Indianapolis Colts. All of that working for them. And I normally don't go offense over defense, but this time I have to make an exception off of what I've seen with the Kansas City Chiefs thus far this season. I'm going to go reluctantly with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, then at 4 o'clock, we have a NFC East matchup from week 1, Banner Night. Last time, Jalen Carter ended his night very early by spitting on Dak Prescott. I don't believe he's going to do the same thing this time. And that pressure up the middle from Jalen Carter and new addition Jalen Phillips coming around that edge is going to make the night very long for Dak Prescott and that Cowboys offense. Cowboys defense, I don't see doing anything with that Philly offense, even though it's been struggling. A.J. Brown is becoming a squeaky wheel. It's much ado about nothing because last week they got a huge win over the Detroit Lions, and A.J. Brown had one of his best games. So at this point, I'm calling it much ado about nothing. He's just squeaking. He like to talk. He an old man that like to talk, as they say on life. He's an old man that like to talk. And A.J. Brown is fitting that description right now. But they keep getting him the ball. I don't see how Dallas defense can stop Philly, and I damn sure don't see how that Cowboys offense is doing anything with that offensive line against that Cowboys offensive line doing anything against that Philly defense. I just don't see it. Now, I will say the addition of Quentin Williams at the trade deadline was huge. That was major because that defense is definitely looking a lot better with him and Frank Clark in the middle. Now, again, we talk about 2 people that wasn't playing week 1. You got to mention Quentin Williams and you got to mention Frank Clark was there. But you got to definitely mention Quentin Williams and the linebacker that they got at the trade deadline. They were not there. If that linebacker is able to run, is it Logan Wilson? I'm going to call Logan Wilson for now. If he's able to run and play free and flowing, man, look out for that defense. For the rest of the year. This game, no, that's Philly. Philly by 10. Philly easy on this game. All right, and then as we go to the nightcap, the Rams are playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. LA's the best team in football. If you go to rubugging.substack.com, like I told you to go to before, you would notice I put a power rankings. Not going to spoil all 32, but I'll spoil the number 1, which is LA Rams. Puka, Devontae Adams, their defense. Matthew Stafford is the MVP. Yeah, they about to get busy against Tampa Bay. Now, don't get it tangled and twisted. Tampa Bay is not going to be easy out. It's not going to be an easy night for the Rams. Baker Mayfield, if there's one thing that dude is feisty, and he a fighter, and he's scrappy, and he don't take no for an answer. If he throw 1 interception, trust me, 2 or 3 might follow because he ain't taking no. He ain't going to stop swinging. He's always going to be a fighter and always going to be swinging. So Baker Mayfield and this offense going up against this Rams defense, I think is outmatched. Bucky Irving is not playing. He's been ruled out. So I don't think Tampa Bay has enough offensively to contend with the Rams. And the Rams is going to put up points. If there's one thing the Rams going to do, it is put up points. So I'm going with the Rams and that nightcap. All right. Now, if you break down the rest of these games in week 12, at 1 o'clock, y'all know, y'all see it. Obviously, Ravens over Jets. The offensive line, Lord help them. But I got the Ravens over the Jets. Hopefully Lamar Jackson can bounce back. The Jets got the 20th ranked rushing defense. And if it's one thing that the Ravens like to do is run the ball. I expect Derrick Henry to have a big game. Also, 1 o'clock, Chicago Bears is playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is out, I believe. Aaron Rodgers has been ruled out. Oh, no, he hasn't been. But I don't think it matters. I'm going with Chicago on that one. They are streaking. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. So I'm going with Chicago on that one. New England Patriots taking on Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals will be without Jamar Chase, but they might have Joe Burrow back. I don't think it matters. New England Patriots over the Bengals. Detroit Lions is taking on the Giants. Giants are struggling. Detroit Lions are fighting for the first place in the NFC. So I think we all know how that one's going to go. Detroit big. Green Bay versus the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Packers. Close game, though. Very close game. The Vikings are tough out. Vikings have been playing games very close. Very up against the numbers, if you will. They are playing these games very close, and I think this will be another one, especially since it's division week. Well, I got Green Bay by like 3. Seattle Seahawks versus Tennessee Titans. One is a potential Super Bowl team, and the other is probably fighting for that number 1 pick come April. So, of course, Seattle. Colts Chiefs we talked about. Ravens Jets talked about. I don't think I gave a prediction for this 4 o'clock Browns Raiders game. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I don't expect Shedeur to go crazy in this game. But I'm going to go with the Raiders. My heart is saying Cleveland, though. And that's tough for a Baltimore kid to say Cleveland is the heart pick. Jacksonville Jaguars is going up against the Cardinals. Give me the Jaguars in this matchup. Again, when a playoff team versus a team fighting for a quarterback come April. Eagles versus Cowboys we talked about. I got the Saints over the Falcons. The Falcons are without Drake May and their quarterback. Michael Penix is going to be out for the rest of the year with ACL injury. So give me the Saints on this one. Hopefully Bijan Robinson can go off, but I don't think it's going to be enough against New Orleans. Give me the Saints. Talk about Rams and Bucks. And then on Monday night, San Francisco takes on Carolina Panthers, and I'm going with San Francisco. Carolina Panthers has been up and down. San Francisco, through the injuries and all, have been fighting strong. So I'm going to go with San Francisco on that game. Now, next Friday is Black Friday. There's a football game that's going to be on. So, show alert, we will be back next week sometime early. Might be Wednesday before Turkey Day. Might be after I'm full off of turkey stuffing and dressing and sweet potato pies. So we know. I don't know, but I'll come back to y'all next week. Y'all see the logo. Follow Al You Bugging. Not the logo, excuse me. Y'all see the ticker. Follow Al You Bugging on Instagram and YouTube at Al_you_bugging. And also subscribe to the Substack at alubugging.substack.com. Also, go to athleticallychallengethemag.com. Some articles on there that I've written. I'm definitely going to be collaborating with the bro more as draft time approaches. But we working out here. So again, as I say, follow your boy. Be blessed, be productive, be more. I love you. I'm out.